To defy the odds, you have to risk everything and take chances. At Old Nation Brewing Company, we did just that. From an unknown startup brewery to standing alongside national craft brands in just under a decade, we remain one of the last of the large, independently owned breweries in Michigan. Our beer is respectfully brewed using only the highest quality ingredients, and we don't cut corners. With the times changing for everyone, one thing that stays the same is Old Nation's respect for great beer and the people who love it. We're growing in cans produced and fans made. When you taste our beer, you'll know why.
Well, thank you, Rico. Myles Garrett is the conversation, and not in a Fantasyland way. He's asked for a trade, put a public statement out. I can tell you from Cleveland's side, they're not surprised. They know he's unhappy. He's a face of the franchise. He's a generational talent. He's everything you hope Aiden turns into. And I don't think there's a need to make fun of anyone saying the Detroit Lions need to do everything in their power to go get him. Because if you don't, as I said last segment, not only do you not have him, but someone you compete against will. This is the type of move. And here's what you're getting, by the way. This is a 6-time All-Pro, 4-time first-team All-Pro. This is going to be a unanimous first-time eligible Hall of Famer. This is a guy... Here, tell me what these numbers mean, Rico. 13.5, 10, 12, 16, 16, 14, 14. That's his sack production.
Yeah.
And largely on a bad Cleveland team. I just, guys, at a certain point, you got to let go of the rope. You don't get to keep all your players. And if you trust Brad Holmes the way you do, you don't get to keep all your picks. This is an all-in move I would make with zero hesitation.
To me, there's only two people that Sewell is untouchable. You got to keep him. The other one is Aiden, because that's what you're trying to pair him up with. Anybody else?
No. Rico, no. You can't trade Amon-Ra.
Why not? No. He's a wide receiver, Mike.
I understand it.
You can go out
Culture,
and get
grit, captain, toughness, signed him.
Okay.
I can't.
You know what?
Plus, if you're the Browns, you're not taking that kind of salary.
No. But what I'm saying is you have to be willing, because
I'm willing to do just about
it's a different position, but to me, it's like how everybody embraced Jamal Williams, and he was the culture of this team, and he was this, and he was that. And then you found his replacement, and you moved on, and we don't talk about him anymore.
See, Mike, you have to understand who you're talking to here. This is a guy that didn't want to pay Debo, didn't want to pay Brandon Ayuk. He does not want to pay wide receivers.
I don't value receivers.
He doesn't value them.
No, more importantly, he doesn't value black receivers. I think that's really the centerpiece of this.
Well, you're right. It's just February now.
All right. No, on a serious note, listen. I'm 99% of the way there. My list is like 4 or 5 people, not...
I also would not include St. Brown in the deal either. I wouldn't include Gibbs as well. But I can understand where somebody might say trade Gibbs.
Because let's just say you had to give up one of those and you still kept everybody else. Your team has enough weapons, you could survive. Okay, yes, we all love Amon-Ra and the blue hair and standing upside down in the end zone. But if that meant you brought in Myles Garrett, and if that meant that, okay,
I'm not
got J-Mo.
No, that is a Rico opinion. I am not a part of this. I will not trade that man. There are certain guys you can't. I can't. I can't do it. I'll trade J-Mo. I can't do it. Take J-Mo. Take an extra pick. I can't do it. I offered Brian Branch.
I'm saying Brian Branch. Once again, there's just 2 guys. We want him. No. We want him. No. What about it? We can talk. You want Branch? Fine. We can negotiate a Branch. But if they came in and said, well, we kind of really like Amon-Ra, all right.
No, because then my offense is broken.
You can find another receiver.
Okay. All right. Hey, that the trademarked or whatever, the express written consent, that's Rico's opinion. Leave me out of that one. I want no part of that blast radius.
Remember talking about Memphis before the show? That's what I'm doing to you, Rico.
All right, let's do this. David, ticket text first. I mean, is this something people are at least willing to listen, or is it a shred fest where it's like, this is stupid radio?
No, let's go. Get Myles. He's going to be cheaper than he once was. Yes, still expensive, but yes, make the deal. That is from A2 in Tecumseh. Garrett has double-digit sack totals the last 7 years, the premier pass rusher in the league. oh no, let's not trade our 24th pick or lower picks. Yes, make the call now. Next year's the year to do it. It's not going to if it's not going to happen, they have to go all in on Myles Garrett.
Okay, I'm glad the texter said this. Rico, do we have commonality in this that next year is their last best chance at a Super Bowl? Meaning 2026, obviously the cap's not real, but when you see $4 million of effective cap space for 2026, it is suggestive there will have to be a lot of heavy lifting by Brett Holmes.
Mm-hmm. You know what you become? At that point, you're looking at the Cincinnati Bengals. You got to make tough choices. We can't keep everybody.
So let's go all in right now. In an offseason where you lost both coordinators, and I know the discotheque doesn't believe that matters. Well, we live in reality.
Jason and
Meanwhile, Costa's dressed like Santa Claus, like Travolta in that commercial on the dance floor. No, you lost both your coordinators. You know a way I can offset some of that? Here's Myles effing Garrett. Players, not plays. And don't hit me with, well, we might be able to find a pass rusher at 28. Who? We're talking about a gold jacket. First team is a Hall of Fame player in his prime. Opposite Aiden Hutchinson. Come on, man. Please.
My only concern is this. Are we on an island? Because
apparently
I'm hoping that Holmes, because when he drafts, he's not really drafting defensive linemen, not early. So is this just a position that he feels we can get anybody and make this thing work? It's not. I'm with you. You got next year. After next year, you go from sitting at the head table to you're now sitting out there with the rest of the people.
Yep. And listen, I mean, maybe it's a minor point, but don't you get 2 draft picks from Aaron Glenn getting a head coaching job, right? There's a couple of 3s. I'll take the next 2 first-round picks and a player of their choice, and I'm doing the deal. I don't think that's provocative. I don't think it's hyperbole, and I don't think it's, well, radio stupidity. No, guys, all in, parade, Super Bowl. You call Cleveland, and you make them turn the receiver and do this. You just try. Myles Garrett is one of the rare players. He is better than Max Crosby. He's a more complete player than Max Crosby. Like Max, maybe someday could earn his way to the Hall of Fame. Myles Garrett already has a bust in Canton.
You turn up the defense, Mike, and that's another reason why I'm not saying this just try to be provocative, but, man, you look at the Chiefs. They really made their defense good. They lost Tyreek Hill. They haven't missed a beat.
Can you imagine if the Chiefs get Myles Garrett?
Right, but that's what I'm saying. So I'm not locked in on a receiver because history has shown you improve your defense, you can win a championship. You can have 5 great receivers, and you're sitting at home in January.
You better pray to God he doesn't end up in Chicago or Green Bay. I mean, you know, listen, we'll get to the people next. David, a couple more ticket texts, then we'll go to the phones. I'm all in on it. Myles Garrett's demanded a trade. He's done it publicly. The Browns can say whatever they want because they're probably trying to figure out the damage. I mean, I'll give you a great example. I've read a couple of things out of Cleveland where you've got a couple vets on that team that if they traded Myles Garrett and triggered a rebuild, Joel Bitonio, who's one of the best offensive linemen in football in totality, he'll retire before being part of a rebuild. How do I know that? He said it publicly. Mm-hmm. Like, the Garrett thing, they just have to go, no, everything's okay. They're the puppy with the cup of coffee. The whole house is on fire.
I mean, on top of the whole Deshaun Watson fiasco, it's bad. And really the only thing to do is to file NFL bankruptcy, meaning blow the whole thing up.
And it's in a year they have the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
So, or number 2 pick. So you can now go, okay, we can now have this force multiplier of trading Garrett. In a year we have number 2. Now let's say we added a couple of picks and a starter, or added 3. Let's say they added 2 1s, a 2, and a 4. Now it opens up other possibilities in how you do this rebuild.
Right, especially like if you trade with the Bears, because now you're sitting there at 2 and you're sitting there at 10.
There you go.
You trade with the Niners, you're at 2, you're at 11. So, yes, now that's how you jumpstart a team.
I just, I don't know. Maybe Lions fans are still staring at a wall. We'll talk to the people we do have. I'm shocked this isn't Floodgate City. Be curious. 248-539-9797.
On you.